Welcome back, guys, to episode 12 of Reality Hits Fan. It's your favorite host, Leon, with the MVM Group powered by Cardinal Financial. And as always, I completely forgot where I was going with that. But we got Erlis here too.
All right, well, good morning. We are coming live to you from the Good Vibes room. Leon and Erlis together. We're going to, do a fantastic job today to tell you exactly what you need to know. You're going to love what we have to share with you. So I'm not going to, elaborate on what it is. I'm let Leon take the mic here and introduce these two, awesome agents. And maybe, did I refer to you guys correctly, agents? Did I say it that?
Yeah.
Okay. Brokers, agents. Okay, we'll get to the bottom of it eventually. So without further ado, Leon, let us know. What do we have here today in the Good Vibes room?
We got to give them their flowers. Well, we can, right? These two gentlemen are some of the hardest working brokers, agents, entrepreneurs that I've had the pleasure of working with in the past. Specifically, we'll start with Deshaun, is main creator of Doors Open Connect, broker with Marzuko Real Estate, and all around one of the best agents I know when it comes to a hard standpoint, right? This man, he goes far, far past above and beyond and caring to the point he still gets love messages from some of his favorite clients on Instagram. And
Is that true? Is that true?
I get the and I also, believe it or not, I had a really tough deal that I just did, and I was out there yesterday at a final walkthrough in the signing, and the one gentleman did tell me, he's like, I hate everybody. He's like, but out of all the agents that I know and I met, and people trying to take advantage of me and this and that, he's like, you've been solid from day one, and I dealt with that a lot, last 6 months and helping them achieve their goals of moving to the next place. So that it meant a lot. That's why we do it. You know what I mean?
It's not easy to be an agent.
No,
it's not for everyone. You got to earn the trust, earn the love, and most importantly, the respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then next to him is Mr. Worldwide, top producing agents, also with Marzuko Real Estate. The energy that Jordy gives up is funny because we started closely around the same time. I think I was in a few months earlier.
You were actually a few months earlier.
And
same background, though.
Same background. Came from banking. Both came from Bank of America. And actually, I credit you for giving me a lot of the inspiration to keep on going in those early days when
we had no idea what that.
We didn't know what we were doing. We were calling each other to write contracts and get financials, but it was a blast though.
Well, that's what made it fun, I would assume, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
One of the transactions we actually had was the one on 10th Street. That it was a sale and a buy.
Yeah,
the cops got involved.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so quick picture, right? We go to closing. She signs on the dotted line. Everything's going through. Wire transfers sometimes take a little bit longer because it's not like an instant thing that people want to assume. So, not a big deal. Hey, she's driving by her house. She's parking her truck, waiting to get the okay. And the seller shows up.
So you're the lender in this case.
Yeah.
And you're the agent representing.
Mind you, we had both transactions. So I was selling her house.
Right.
And she was buying at the same time. Same closing day, everything.
Yeah.
And of course, wire doesn't come in time. This seller was like, you cannot afford this house. I don't know what you're doing here. You're not cops. Like, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. She was basically getting ready to move. Is sale ever?
Oh, yeah. It went through, of course. We always close the neighbor. Come on now.
Seller called the cops. The cops was like, legally, she owns the house because she signed this papers. And the seller, stormed off or something. It was good times.
Well, folks, you can tell that we love to tell our stories. They're amazing. They're different. They're unique. But without further ado, let's give the mic to our guests so they can introduce themselves and they can tell us what they do, how long they've been doing this, and most importantly is the program platform that you are going to share with us a little bit later. So, Leon, go ahead and take it.
Yeah. So this one is actually for all our real estate agents. Doesn't matter what brokerage you're with, how experienced or inexperienced you are. This is an application that you need in your arsenal. And I'm not going to, take a lot of words out of you guys' mouth because I've seen you guys grow and I believe in you guys truly and dearly. So, Dee, tell us a little bit about Doors Open Connect and how it's a benefit for any agent out there.
Doors Open Connect, started really from my own pains and needs, right? So I think some of the best innovation where it comes from your own pain points. I got it. I was in hospitality for over 15 years, and then I came back from Fort Lauderdale, and I said, enough with hospitality. I have to get into real estate because it's something I've always wanted to do.
Can I break up? Tell us a bit about yourself first. What do you do? Who you are? Where you come from? We want to get to know you.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a lot longer than 15 minutes, but
You can skip all of the shit part of
Hey, wait. Leave that state. Leave that state in there.
yeah,
Now it's Chicago. And
Yeah.
Hey, those Chicago people keep coming. It's okay.
yeah, no. Originally from Michigan, but I moved down to Naples in 2005. Actually, I was here for Wilma, and ironically enough, now we've got what is it, Ian upon us. I was here for Irma too, but so I came down here with the intention of getting into real estate. Just to tell you guys a little bit more, I actually didn't think I was smart enough to get into real estate. So I have a really good friend who I really looked up to, and he actually always seemed to be better with his money and always seemed to be a little bit smarter than me. So I let him try to get in and pass the test first. He got halfway through it and he gave up. So in my head, I was thinking, I can't do this, right? So unfortunately, somebody told me once when I was bagging groceries when I was young that I had good customer service skills. And I just said, well, if that's what I'm good at, then I'll stick with that, And that led me into hospitality, serving industry. I ended up at La Playa Beach Golf Resort where I managed, I had to work my way up from front desk, supervisor, manager on duty. And then I was there until I plateaued, and hospitality wasn't really what I thought it was going to be with them 60, 70-hour work weeks and one day off, maybe. And then I ended up trying to move over to Miami to try to get into real estate. I thought I was going to be able to do it that way because I love Miami, the city. And then I ended up in Fort Lauderdale because my resume only said hospitality management. So to cover the bills, I took a management role there. I spent 2.5 years there where I decided to finally go ahead and try to get my real estate license. So when I passed it the first go around, I was happy, but I was also bitter. Like I psyched myself out for so long. And it really, for me, was not as bad as I had made it out to be. And I spent years doing something that, I don't take anything away from hospitality. I love it. It made me who I am today. But I grew as a person. But anyway, I passed the test, moved over here, and I joined Josh over at another brokerage. And then had to try to figure it out from there. And I had an investor. I was fortunate enough to stumble into a really good gentleman out of New Jersey who wanted to buy and flip properties. And one of the properties I sold him on was foreclosure. And it was a 4-bedroom, 4-bath courtyard home, which I've never seen one. But if you ever seen one of those things, they're crazy. You walk in the front door and there's a pool, and then it's like the layout is all funky and weird. But they renovated this thing, and now it was up to me to tell them that we could sell it So I'm sitting open house after open house after open house. I think I went 6 months every weekend, every Friday, sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, doing these open houses. I've never sat in open house when I first started. I never got training on it. But I remember one day I walked outside because I kept seeing all my friends on the beach and having fun. And me, I'm a man of my word. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, right? So I'm like, but I wish I could have a day off and go on the beach.
So you became an agent in Fort Lauderdale originally, right?
I got my license, but I was driving back and forth from Naples to Fort Lauderdale and I took the classes out of order because that's how bad I wanted out of what I was doing.
So a man of your word.
Yeah. So commitment. Hey, listen, if I say you're gonna sell this property for this and turn it, then I better make it happen. Yeah.
This is the man that wakes up between 2 and 3 a.m. every morning, is in the gym, is the first person in his office. If you follow him on Instagram, you could see him turn on the lights every day without hesitation. And he's usually one of the last people there too.
Yeah. I miss a day here and there, but it's
You're allowed to take a day off.
yeah, when
Not to yourself.
I wear a lot of hats, so it's not just real estate, which I have obviously my own deal flow that I have going on. I also am one of the managing brokers at Marzuko Real Estate and a partner in that business. So that we have 4 offices. We almost have 400 agents. Where we're always trying to grow and make that better for the agents. And then Doors Open Connect, which is obviously my baby, my passion, and it doesn't just confine me to just one brokerage. With Doors Open Connect, I'm able to help agents, and we have done so. Anybody who wants to get involved through all brokerages, as long as they're licensed and want to participate, then we're there for the agent. And essentially for the broker, depending on, obviously what we want in our agents is for them to succeed. And so,
You said Doors Open Connect.
Doors Open Connect.
All right, now this is your baby.
This is my baby.
All right, now talk to us about your baby. How did you get started with Doors Open Connect, and where has it gotten you, and how many relationships have you built? How many, houses have you sold because of it? And tell us the benefit that a buyer or perhaps a seller could gain from Doors Open Connect.
Yeah, so to tie back into that courtyard home, that's where I came up with the whole concept, because the light bulb moment kind of came on when I was at that end of the driveway, and I realized there was a bunch of open houses in that HOA that day, and I remember that agents were begging me to sit their listings. They were offering me money to go and do certain things, do this, and then there was times when I needed it, right? And I'm like, well, why isn't there any kind of organization? At least in the old office that I had, it was messy text messages that I got into chains I didn't want to be in, emails, Facebook groups, and it was super frustrating. There was no organized way to do it. And so I was like, let's look into some other options if the technology is available to us. So I partnered up with a local developer here, and thank God I met this gentleman, Jared, at Divine Digital, when I met him, because, when you're starting up an idea and a concept, people always tell you, don't tell anybody. Oh, if they're going to steal it, they're going to steal it. Right? If a Zillow finds out about this, they're just going to wipe you off the face of the earth. And it's like, what I've come to realize over the years is that action, people fail to take action. So that's where I was able to kind of build it to what it is today with our own needs. Come to find out, it's not just open houses, it's showings, it's inspections, it's appraisers. And so we've made thousands of connections already through the platform. We started here locally in Southwest Florida, primarily in Naples, and then we branched out. Now we have agents working together left and right. We've closed a lot of deals. I had a listing that was in Treviso Bay that sat on the market for over a year. We had a newer agent that was looking for opportunities, and she had multiple listings at the time, so she was kind of fed up, I'm sure, with this listing. Why not give that opportunity to another agent? She was actually our first organic download and post on the app, and an agent covered her, and the buyer walked in that day. He closed them, I think maybe 2 months after that, they had closed them on that. If that door had been closed that day, the buyer might have not walked through the door, right? And he wouldn't have gotten a deal. Actually, he's come to me plenty of times to say that I'm one of the reasons that he's still in real estate, because if he hadn't gotten those opportunities, he would have quit. And we have story after story like that.
Yeah. So if I understand you correctly, and you're next, they'll think that you're getting done.
Oh, I thought it was just, I thought.
No, you're coming up next. So you guys want to tie this together. I want to get a better understanding of how that platform has assisted or helped you, from as successful as you are. So the key word here is communication. So the communication was lacking when you first, encountered this courthouse property, right? Because like you said, you're part of, group chats or Facebook chats, right? And then nobody was really had a leadership in the platforms, right? So now a real estate agent who is available and willing to invest his or her time to show this property, right? They can just jump in his platform and then there you are. You know, you have somebody representing.
Right. So they have to be a licensed real estate agent. And we trust that because you've been fingerprinted, background checked, you've gone through all of, that aspect of making sure you're legal and within compliance for FRAC and any other state out there. We're hoping that, you're going to do what you're supposed to do. But as you led into, communication is probably number one. If it's the most important thing in a real estate deal, no matter what, but it's equally important between agents, communication. So within my platform, we have a couple of ways for agents to make sure that they communicate it in detail. You can't screw up the time. When they make a post, a notification goes out within a 50-mile radius of where they're at. Agents can request. You can review the agent to make sure and chat with them. There's a chat feature to make sure they're a good fit. And you can talk, pick and choose who you want to use. We don't want to be, we make the connection and then,
You have a filtering system in place to make sure that whoever is representing this sale, this property, it's check marks and all the requirements that you believe are fit for this particular
correct,
unit.
correct.
So now tell us where has this platform come handy to Jordy? So
Well, I'll let Jory tell us because it's
So right now I have around 9 listings, and of course I can't be in all of them at once, So starting off around Tuesday, I post them up, and licensed agents are able to use them. I've actually had great success with it. I've been able to find a few buyers just through open houses, and it gives the opportunity to other agents to find a lead.
Right. So you have 9 listings.
Correct.
We all agree that you can't be 9 listings or not places all at the same time. So you have to have help. So you're reaching out to agents that are not in your group.
Correct.
They could be in Southwest Florida, or they could be anywhere in Florida for that, man, depending where your listing is located, right? And then they can pick up, there is an app for this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And you post it on the app, and so another agent that you filter, you go through the background check and whatnot, and he comes up and says, I want to go and show.
So they request it.
Right.
I normally, if I put it today, I'll get, let's say, 4 or 5 requests, and I get to pick, I get to interact, and talk to them through Messenger, just like Instagram or Facebook, and you're able to communicate and do your own terms.
And then the messages are saved.
Correct.
Right? You can go back and see what was said. Maybe we missed something that we didn't say in the beginning of the one, then to come back to you and say, no, I didn't say that. Okay, so it's the conversation is safe. This is very important. I actually like what you put together, simply. And how many, if you don't mind asking, how many units have you sold because of this platform?
Right now, I have 4. I've closed 4 transactions with it.
4 transactions.
Yeah. So what we really highlight, around how much in volume has DOC produced for agents already?
Oh man, I was trying to keep track, but the thing with it is
Numbers,
I can't even tell you, to be honest. I mean, I know we've had millions and millions of dollars worth of listings, but the thing is, once we've made that connection, the agents usually do what they do. It goes into a contract, and then I try to follow up, and I try to ask for some success stories and testimonials, and we've got a bunch of them.
Yes.
I've got all laid out at a presentation, but it's hard to keep. Since I'm not a brokerage, right, and it's not a brokerage, it's hard to keep numbers of the fact of the true numbers. I can tell you that people have been paid through the platform. I think we in the last 2.5 years, about $20,000, which is not a lot, but we remind you, we only started on the iOS and Apple first. We had to prove that concept in order to release it to Android, and we have a desktop version now as well. And we did that at the end of May this year. So we've got a ton of people paid. Actually, Willie just showed me that he's made over $1,500 this year through the platform. That's just through the platform. He's making connections with buyers and sellers, and he's got a leads list of people that he's going through as well.
So I wanted to highlight that though, right?
Yes.
As a new agent, what's the hardest thing you have to face?
Generating leads.
Generating leads.
Of course.
This app is giving you the opportunity to get in front of people, build connections with other agents, get paid.
Right.
Where else is that happening? You can't find that anywhere.
And it's free. The app?
Yeah, it's free to utilize. We're just now starting to get punished for that. The last expo, we had some people asking, "Well, how do you make money?" And it's like, well, right now we don't. You know, I don't want to nickel and dime the agents. People are always trying to sell us on something. You know, it's a constant in the emails and the text. Everybody's trying to sell us on something. So I'm trying to create something that is agent based, and we're trying to really help the agents. So we're looking into ad space monetization. We have a billboard on there, which is rotating. Then we have a preferred vendors list. We're also offering, we're a white label franchise option, licensing option, basically, where we will come and we will create and duplicate the exact same thing for, a larger brokerage that wants their brand logo on it, and maybe they just want to use it for their team and monetize it that way. But for us, the biggest thing was getting the success stories, the testimonials,
And it's probably helping a new agent.
mostly helping the new agent because they're gonna talk about it, right? Their story and spread. It's all been organic growth. This is in the last 2 months, I've probably spent $400 on marketing. That's amazing. And that, but prior to that, almost nothing. Right. So we just started going to the trade shows and the conventions, and we got to the NAR next month, or in November 11th to the 13th. So if you guys could join us there, that would be great. And I'm gonna ramp it up. All right, and I definitely see where we have to get the word out and educate people a little bit faster now that we have put together what we put together, and people are enjoying it.
So, folks, you heard it yourselves. We love success stories, and then there's plenty of those for us to share with you. So we're running out of time here, Leon. And again, we wanted to thank you. But I have one question, and I know you have one coming. I know yours is going to be. But how do we get a hold of you, gentlemen? So we got a lot of great information from both of you, and I wanted to tell our audience what's the best way to get a hold of you.
Well, you can. I mean, I'm out there, so we've got plenty of different ways. If it's IG, Doors Open Connect. If it's Facebook, it's Doors Open Connect LLC. You can follow that page. My name is Deshaun Robinson. I've got my real estate page, which is on IG. That's DLUX Naples. And you can also email us at for Doors Open Connect at doorsopenconnect@gmail.com. And since this is a special episode, and I appreciate you guys for having us on, I wanted to take the time to let you know that I have just released a new feature today on the app platform for agents, and it's going to be basically a communications board within the app, so agents are able to now start chatting with one another, and that's been hopefully that will be a hit too, and will help agents share some insight and value on some of their deals and some of the things they're experiencing through DLC or whatever.
That's amazing. So, folks, you had enjoyed yourself. There is a new feature that launched just seconds ago, and how exciting is that? So it's thanks to our podcast, our 12th episode, right? Now we have a new feature, so that's very exciting. Jordan, tell us, how do we get a hold of you?
Pretty much just Instagram, man. I don't have Facebook.
So you love social media.
He got kicked off Facebook.
I got my Facebook hacked around 3 years ago, and I haven't been able to get it back.
And it's okay.
It's okay. My Instagram is just Jorvi Noesi, JORVI NOESI, and just if not, call me.
That's awesome. Call you. So how do we call you?
239-682-4389.
Yes. Awesome. Leon, what's your question?
One last thing for you guys. This is something near and dear to me. But what is one piece of advice that you would give a fellow agent, a buyer, whoever you want to give it out to? One piece of advice that you would give out.
I mean, if it was entrepreneur, I'd say just be overwhelmed and be persistent. That's it. If life throws all kinds of obstacles at you, but if you just keep waking up and just keep grinding, 1 inch at a time, it has to give up. It has to get out of the way at some point.
Right. And you mentioned that you had a role model who went out there and took the test. You looked up to this individual. He unfortunately wasn't fortunate enough to pass the test, but you went in a few months after and you nailed it.
Right.
So, and Leon mentioned earlier that you are the first one in the office. You wake up at you know, at the early hours and you last one on the office. So that's what grinding, that's a definition of grinding, if you were to ask me, right? Right. Jordan, it's your turn to ask.
Definitely, I would say don't feel discouraged. My first year, I only sold one house. You know it. You know it.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. And leading the bank full time, making pretty good money. I was going through interviews for management.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know what? I'm giving my month notice. They told me, you sure? The grass is not green on the other side. And that's false. It really is how much you water the grass.
Right.
You can make the grass as greener as possible. Just stay focused and don't get discouraged by the roller coaster ride. That's what I call it. You could enjoy the ups, but you definitely have to stay strong when the downs come down.
Yeah, and that builds character. That builds character. And I was offered a promotion too before moving over here too, and I turned it down.
If I would have taken that promotion, I don't think we'll be here.
We wouldn't know each other. No. I would have been a victim of COVID because the restaurant got shut down. You know, so.
Yeah. But definitely don't feel discouraged, man. It's a tough market, really, really hard. We have so many agents, but you have to sell yourself.
Absolutely.
You're not selling a product. You have to sell you. I don't care what anybody tells me. And real estate is really who you know and how you market yourself.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Well, do you have any more questions to ask?
So,
This was a true learning experience for me. So thank you to both of you.
Thank you guys for having me
this morning. It has been a pleasure to entertain you on this very beautiful day. We have Ian knocking on our door momentarily, so we'll kick this back up on Friday. Right, we have another episode on Friday of this week. Hoping everything goes well. We wish you safety. Please stay dry, safe. Leon, any closing arguments? How do they get a hold of us?
this is your favorite. I don't know why you're giving me the spotlight, right? But guys, you can reach us at mvmgrp.com. That'll have everything. You can basically pinpoint my location from this website, right?
So your phone number, your email address, your profile is there, and even your Facebook profile, I think, is there, isn't there?
Probably. It is. It's all linked together.
So it's all
Not hard to find.
all
I'm always around.
You always in the office grinding. Yeah, we know where to find you.
Yeah, if not here at home, the bake office is everywhere. The bake comes here.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta make them more young.
There it is.
I'll learn the value of $1.
So are you going to do a YouTube channel for him or what? Make him rich, get rich?
It's in the works.
Wealthy, not rich, sorry. No?
No, not yet. Maybe if he wants to do that when he's older, by all means. But there's too many weird people in this.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's true.
Kids,
As a father, I'm protective. So I don't know if I want to expose him to the madness of the internet just yet. Okay, let him enjoy that youth. Yeah, I want to make him a '90s baby in 2022.
Oof,
Makes it
that's hard. It's really hard.
king him out. Play with a stick or something, bro. I don't know. Figure it out.
folks, thank you again for time. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here with you. We learned a lot. I'm sure we have plenty more to teach you guys. We're going to invite these wonderful gentlemen again for our future episodes. If you have questions, concerns, just follow what Leon just said. If you have questions or concerns about what they do, please do reach out to us. mbmgrp.com is where you can get a hold of us. We have all of our information there. And until next time, see you soon.